First step to creating a function, we're going to need to sign up with a Shopify Partners account if you don't already have one. You can do that at Shopify/partners and click on the join link. After you've joined and signed in, you're going to see a screen that is similar to this dashboard where you'll see home, stores, referrals, apps, themes on the left-hand side, and probably a blank list of stores in the center. But we can create a new test store. I'm just going to copy this text. Unfortunately, it gave me to the next screen. 1 second, okay. So then to create a new development store, we're going to click on the Add Store button. We're going to click on the Create Development Store. We're going to say Create Test Build, Create Store and Test a Build. We're going to give it a name. I am going to put in this name that I know is unique. I'm going to go ahead and choose the developer preview, and I'm also going to set this up for checkout and customer accounts extensibility. I'm also going to select Use Test Data, and then we will create our development store. Once you've created your development store, you'll see again another dashboard that is similar to this, and if you click on products, if we've selected the use test products, we should see a list of products that we can use on our development site, which is going to be helpful later on. When you're ready, you can install the Shopify CLI. To find that, just do a quick Google search, install Shopify CLI. Should lead you to a document that looks like this. You'll have to have Node.js installed and Get. When you're ready, you can use whatever package manager you want to use to install the Shopify CLI. Just copy the command, open up a terminal, and copy the command into the terminal and hit enter. I'm not going to do that because I've already installed it. Now with the Shopify CLI installed, we can Google search how to scaffold a Shopify app. That should take you to a document that'll look like this. And in this document, it'll have instructions for how we're going to create our new app. First step is going to be using the Shopify app init command. I have a project folder that I'm going to use, and I've already have the command. I'm going to hit enter on this. It'll ask us for a project name. I'm going to call this function demo. Hit enter. I'm going to start by using Remix, but that's not necessary in this tutorial. And I'm going to use JavaScript as opposed to TypeScript. This install is going to take a little while. When the install is complete, you'll want to CD into the folder. So I CD'd into function demo, and now we're going to run the Shopify app dev command. This command is going to set up more things about our application that we need. So first question, create this as a new Shopify app. I'm going to say yes to that. I'm going to give it the same name, so function demo. Then it's going to ask what development store I want to implement this on. I'm going to select the 008 install that I have, because that is the one that I've just currently created. And then it's going to ask for a preview experience, and I'm going to say yes, automatically update. Now it's building our application for us, and we should have, quite possibly, a running application. Clicking on the link will open up a terminal similar to this one, where you can see here now that we are in our install app in our partners account, and I'm going to go ahead and click install app. And when the application is correctly installed and running on your store, you will see a screen similar to this, Remix app template, and you should see some information about the application that we've created. And this is great. We have just spent a few minutes and we've already got a working application in Shopify. So the next step is to go back to our terminal, and I'm going to Control-C on this terminal to close the connection, and you'll see that our application is actually shut down in the background. Next, we're going to open up a code editor. I'm going to use VS Code. And here is a good walkthrough of our application. We have an app folder, we have an extensions folder, which is where we're going to be building our function. Prisma Public, there's a lot of folders in here that are of note, but we're not necessarily going to work with them very much. We may come back to the Shopify app TOML, but most of what we're going to be concerned with and dealing with is going to be right here in the extensions folder. So the next thing we'll do is we'll go back to our help document, and in the left-hand section you should be able to scroll down to the discount section and click on build a discount function. In this document we're going to actually dive deeper into the function itself. So we've created an app, now we're actually creating the function. So we're going to copy this get line, and I'm going to go back over to my code editor and open up a terminal. I'm going to paste this line in, and I'm going to hit enter, and this should pull down a template for the discount function that we are creating. The function, the terminal is going to ask us what function we want, or what language we would like to use. I'm going to select JavaScript, and this is going to take it a while. Okay, with the setup complete, now we should see some new folders in the extensions folder, specifically the product discount folder, and inside of the product discount folder there should be another one called source. And these files are going to be really important to us, specifically the run GraphQL and the run.js files. Now let's just take a second to explain exactly what we're doing. In Shopify, a function is actually code that is uploaded to Shopify itself, and it is formed by an input query. An input query represents the data that is going to be used by the function, and then when the function is run, the input data comes in and then gets executed in our WASM module. That WASM module will then output data, and that will, in this case, it will be the function output. So let's go back to the help document, and we're going to copy this new run GraphQL back to the code editor, and if we paste this in, we'll see that we are going to be taking in the cart object. We're going to be dealing with product lines, and specifically we need ID and we need quantity, because we'll be building a discount function that is based on quantity that the customer purchased. So the next step is to go back to our help document. We can run this command, the Shopify app type gen. And we're going to hit it for the product discount function. Once we have our types successfully recreated again, we can replace the run function code, and I'm going to copy this and then we'll explain what this code is doing. And now with the run.js code implemented, we are starting to look, this is starting to look like something a little bit more similar. So we have a function that is called run. It is taking in our input parameter that we created in our GraphQL. We're going to filter this object down to only product lines that have a quantity greater than 2. And if we have any items that are in the cart that have a quantity greater than 2, we're going to return this discount array, which is going to give us a 10% discount. We're one step away from deploying our application. Now we just need to go back to our help document, and we do need to copy this updated access scope lines. So I'm going to copy this highlighted section, go back to the application itself, going to search for the Shopify app TOML, and find the access scope sections and replace that with our new data, which is looking a little weird, but hopefully it works, and hit Control Save. Now we should be able to hit Shopify app deploy, or run Shopify app deploy. I misspelled it, but that's okay, it caught my mistake. And I hit yes to confirm. And now we're updating the access scopes, and we're running through all of the build steps for our function. And this is kind of one of the cool parts of it. We just created our WASM module. It's actually located up here in the distribution folder in function.wasm. If we look at this folder real quick, we could show WebAssembly. You'll see that it's looking like a bytecode. But all of this was generated from this runtime, the Javi, and we now should have a working function. And with this done, we are one step away from being able to test our function. We just have one more setup step. So go back to our help document. We need to install another application. This one is going to be called GraphyQL. You're going to put in the store that you want to install your application on. So in this case, I would have put in the Store Wars 008 and inserted that into this area, and then you can select all for these permissions. You can scroll down and select all for the additional permissions. It's not necessary, but it makes it easier. After you click install, you're going to see a window that looks very similar to this, and you can copy the query to select all of the functions, which comes from our help document. So I've already pasted that in. If I run this query, you'll see a lot of information about all of the functions that are installed, but we're specifically looking for our function demo. And if I copy this line, this little bit of code is going to be necessary for the next step, where we create our mutate function. So we're going to hop back over to our help document, click on discount automatic create. We're going to copy this code here for the mutate function portion. I'm going to get rid of our original query. And now I'm going to replace our function ID right here. We'll delete this line, and you'll see that this is titled volume discount. That'll be important in the future. We're going to hit execute on this query, and it looks like the query executed correctly. Oh, function not found. Okay, so let's find out why the function wasn't found. So we'll go back to our 25 and just run this again. And that was product discount function demo. All right, and let me just copy this ID one more time. Ooh. Maybe it's a problem with me copying and pasting. Go back and grab our mutate function. Pasted in from two different areas, but function ID goes here. Let's run this one more time. And product discount title app. Yep, that looks good. That looks appropriate. So let's run this again. And we get a discount. Okay, and this time we got no errors. So after our mutate query function has been run, we should be able to go back into our store. And I know I have it pulled up here somewhere, but I think I've lost it. Okay, here we are. We're back in our development store. And I'm going to click on this little online store button with the eye, and that's going to take us to the front end. I'm going to look for a shirt, because I know shirts are fairly cheap, but it doesn't look like this store has one of the shirts. So I'm just going to select something that will be a snowboard. I'm going to add that to the cart, and then if we increment this by 2, we see our volume discount, and we see that we are in fact discounting by 10%. And that is all you need to do to get a WASM function up and running on Shopify. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you, and I'm looking forward to creating more in the future.